Hey, happy Saturday. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening when you will see this live. I hope everybody is doing wonderful today. Let's get into the details.
It's that time.
Good morning to my crew.
We're on YouTube too.
We're also on YouTube, and we're going to make a few adjustments. All right. Give us a little time here. We're going to make sure everybody comes in. All right. Girl is getting us set over here in the cut. Okay.
Hey, y'all.
All right.
Hello.
Everybody come
All
on
right.
in.
Here we go.
All right.
We're all straight now.
Let me tell y'all something before we get started. Y'all come on in. If you don't have, let me say this, 'cause I want to start preaching at the beginning of the live. If you don't have a crew, like this right here, you don't have a crew. I'll tell you something. It is raining. It is a beautiful day. It's a new day, right? It's a beautiful day. And it's raining. And let me tell you something. When it rains on a Saturday morning, like you want to kind of just lay
You want to relax.
But these ladies right here, when I tell you, they have showed up for me. Like, I just did, I always give thanks. And I tell you guys that every week. Always give thanks. I'm so thankful for these beautiful ladies and their beautiful colors today.
Oh,
This was
no coincidence, though.
Yeah.
That's why this was.
We didn't plan the colors. We didn't. We said something bright and light, right? Something light. Yeah, come on in. We are in the month of May.
Yes.
And we are one Saturday off because last Saturday, of course, I was at my niece's graduation from Tuskegee, and I did go live at the graduation. So if you didn't catch that, the live is still up. According to Facebook, it'll be up about 21 more days. So I'll upload that also. I'll probably to my YouTube channel. Good morning to my YouTube viewers. Welcome in this morning.
Morning.
Well,
Good morning.
So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna introduce you to my beautiful ladies here on the panel today. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and then I'll introduce me.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
I say we do it in a different order.
Okay.
All right.
Up top.
All right, let's do it.
Starting from
Okay.
the top.
Yeah, that's right.
Good morning. I am the unique one.
And there you
They
go.
tell me that's why it's raining.
Because you are what?
On time. But my name is Rona, known as Dr. G. And
Hi, good morning. I'm Griselda. I think I've been named Dr. G in this space, and it's good to be back.
we
You
got
all?
two Dr. G's.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. It's great to have two doctors in the back, isn't it?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
watching
absolutely.
over you.
Absolutely.
I'm Kirsten, and good morning. Very glad to be here.
Great morning, y'all. Hey, I'm Shata. I'm excited.
Good morning. I am DeAndrea Washington. I am your fitness inspiration. And welcome to my page. YouTube, welcome to my channel. I have been a fitness coach, a fitness enthusiast, and all the other names that go with fitness for over 24 years.
Wow.
For 24 years. Now, I've been doing that way before that, but as far as being certified for 24 years. I made this page because, one, it was at first my personal page, but I always shared my fitness experiences. But I love to inspire individuals to just live healthier lifestyles. And that is what I do each and every day, and live it with joy. And I love doing that. And so this is my passion, and I get to share it with the world. Now, we're going to get started, and we know what this weekend is. We know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow is observed as Mother's Day, and it is a special day. We always going to show love to our moms, right?
Absolutely.
But it's just a day to where we just really just go out our way and just say, thank you, Mom. I love you, Mom, for everything that you've done, and your mother. And think about those things that you learned from your mother, all those experiences you had, things that you learned from her that you can take with you for the rest of your life. So that is the first question. And then I want to get into the topic that you see before you, why I'll never die. I want to pose a question to my panel.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And
Buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up. And whoever wants to go first, just raise your hands.
Raise your hand.
I just wanted to say that. Okay, so let me make sure I answer right, because I'm the one that made the question, but I can't remember the questions. All right, y'all. So the question is, I want to say it correctly, so let me look. What was the lesson learned? What was the lesson that you learned from your mother that had an impact on your life? And you guys at home, you can also, share that with us on the live as well. Comment, like, and share. And please share this with a friend, especially when we get into that second part about dieting. Please share this with somebody, because you've had somebody that say, I'm going on the diet. So I want you to share this with them, because I hope that I can help somebody with this topic. But first, we want to, shout out to our moms and tell our moms that we love them. And so we're going to do that individually, okay? And so what was a lesson learned from your mother that had an impact in your life?
Dee's looking at me, so I guess I'll go first. I have so many that this is probably one of the hardest questions I think I've ever been asked. And I get asked a lot of questions because of what I do for a profession. But this is probably one of the hardest. I mean, there are so many lessons that my mother and my grandmother and motherly figures have given me. But I think one of the most important things that I've learned as far as a lesson from my mother is love God, love myself, and love others, and treat people the way I want to be treated. My faith is extremely important to me, and loving God and my mother teaching me the lessons of loving God and knowing God for myself, not for her, not for anyone else. My grandmother used to always tell me, baby, I don't have a heaven to put you in and a hell to keep you out of. And so knowing that I have to know God for myself is probably the biggest lesson, because knowing that has impacted my entire life from the time I was baptized. I remember when I was baptized I was like 3 years old, up until now. Knowing God has been the biggest lesson.
Nice.
Oh,
Beautiful.
very nice.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Next, before I start crying.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us, we've gone through many phases, right? And when I was growing up, I have an older sister. I always felt like my mom was only listening to my older sister, and she wasn't listening to me. But we managed to turn that around, and we built this beautiful, deep relationship as a result of that. Yeah,
Very nice.
and it was quite the journey. But one of the big things that she always encouraged me to do is to listen to that gut, right? Listen to the instinct of. And it served me so well. I mean, it's come in so handy so many times, right? You gotta be you gotta be authentic, you gotta listen to what's inside of you. It's gonna tell you what's right and what's wrong. I use that every day.
Nice. Very nice.
My mom, she is,
We're gonna need tissue.
Yeah.
okay, so it's, my mom is in the early stages of Alzheimer's, And so the one thing that has changed, though she holds on to a lot of things, is that she's not out and about the way she was. That's what has changed. My mom is quite the diva, you know. I mean, in school, it's like I knew I had the best looking mom of all moms. You know, I knew if my mother went to an event that everybody was going to talk about your mom, you know. So I had that mom. And luckily, my father was easygoing, so when we got of a certain age, you know, my mother, you know, found herself and found her beauty. You know, being tall and skinny in the 60s was not, you know, something that was positive. You got teased about it, but then the 70s came, you know, and all of that changed, and my mom was in a position just to discover her beauty, and she went out a lot. And the one thing I remember my mom saying, people said, did you have a good time when you went out? Because she would travel with her sorority and Eastern Star and all that kind of stuff. And my mother said, I don't step out my house not to enjoy myself.
I heard that.
You know, and I remember she said that, and I don't step out my house not to go out and enjoy myself. And that's one of the things, particularly in times like this.
Yes.
So when I leave my house, it's always going to be a positive experience. I'm going to make it a positive experience. And that was one thing, you know, that today I'm going to thank my mom for that, you know, because it's very important to live in joy. And so she taught me that.
Wow.
I love it.
Nice. Well, for me, what I like to share is, first of all, I like to thank my mom for being mom
Yes.
and all the mother figures that have just been in my life. Of course, there are many things on the table that we take from our mothers and our mother figures. But the one that I like to share with you is that I took away order. And I mean the order. And when I say order, in everything that I do, my work-life balance, my spiritual practice and beliefs, just the way I carry myself, everything I do, I try to do in decency and order. And I got that only from my mom. And it's not anything I had to think about, because I thank God for it every day. Because I'm like, God, just thank my mom for giving me order. And on top of that, teaching me that my light is Rona,
Yes.
and not my title. And that's me.
Yes.
Dr. G.
Okay. Oh man, it was when I wrote this question down, I thought about it, because it was a lot of different topics that I wanted to hit on this month, and it took me a minute to come up with this one. But my mom has taught me so many lessons. I was like, okay, which one I'm gonna, use? And I think that the main one, I want to do two, but the first one is short. She always told me, especially when I had went off to college, she said, if you get something to drink, water, whatever it may be, she says, if you set it down and you leave it, it's gone.
Yep.
You never go back to it.
That's right.
Yes, right.
You know,
Good advice.
and I will never forget that to ever. I live by that to this day, and I'm grown. And so she was like, once you get a drink, get something, if you sit it down and leave it, it's left. Get another one,
Yes.
So, but that one impacted me. But the main one, and it has a lot to do what I do today. My mom taught me from like a little girl. I would watch my mom. My mom played softball for years. I think
wow.
about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
She was on the team where, with the company she worked for. She played softball. She pitched. She was an awesome pitcher. And I would go out and watch them, practice for hours and play for hours. And my mom always taught me, and I learned, watched her, go through diets. And, I watched her lose weight. I watched her, she would gain it, she'd lose it down. But she always taught me, she said, it's extra weight on you. She said, it's miserable. So I just want to tell you, she said, always, pay attention to your weight. Don't let it get out of control. Take care of your body and your skin. You know, she says, always take care of your skin, you know, and always take care of your body. Pay attention. She said, you don't want the extra weight on you. It's miserable. And she would tell me that from experience. And just watching her be active and watching all of that, that's where I get it from. You know, I started to watch the instructors on TV and mimic them with aerobics. And I would teach how they taught and count how they counted and everything. And so that's a part of why, you know, I continue to do what I do today. And I love inspiring not only my clients and the people that I've worked with over the years, over 20 plus years, people that I've worked with personally on their healthy lifestyle journey, is to know that, hey, guess what? We're not all designed to be skinny, okay? Let's not think that. Right. But we're all designed to be healthy, okay? So let's just think on that level. And so that definitely was just a major impact on my life, and it's still there. I still remember that every day. You know, I remember that, and I'm able to take that and you know, share it with the world. You know, even if you got thousands of people that watch you on a daily, if you touch one of those people, you know, you touch one of those people, because we know, and I know, being in this arena, it is not easy for everybody. Okay, so you know, let us not get caught up on everything we see. You know, some of what we see. You know, but just let us just know that the major thing is our health. You know, our overall health and wellness, not just the aesthetics of it. You know, because we all want to look good. You know, absolutely, we all want to look good, because when we look good, we feel good, right? But looking good can be subjective. You know, because everybody has their own way of how they want to look, right? And like we said, we don't judge. I don't judge. I've never judged any of my clients, because what I do is what I do. I have a different level of discipline, and my level of discipline came from what I'm getting ready to talk about in my next topic. So that definitely made an impact on my mom.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing.
Happy Mother's Day to my mom. I was with my mommy, you know, last Saturday at the graduation. And let me tell you something, you know, it is something I have to realize that my mama is 71. I think my mama, you 71? No. My mama don't care. My mama look like she 45. But you know, when you look at your mom, and I think we all have our moms, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to remember that my mom is that age, and so I remember one time I was at home, and my mom was driving. We was getting ready to go to the store, and she was backing up. And I said, Mom, just go straight back. You know, I'm talking to her like my mom was sitting there, she driving. And I had to think about it. I just started laughing. I was like, I said, you doing good, Mama, because for 70, I don't know if Mama still be driving like that at 70. And she was doing good, but I had to remember.
Right.
And let us not take them for granted. You know, I talk to my mama, I might not be able to see her every day, you know, but I talk to her every day. My mama is like my best friend, and I hope my mama is watching right now. And, you know, I love you, Mom. And, you know, I talk to my mama every day. Sometimes we'll talk for hours. Sometimes we'll talk, you know, a couple of times a day, and never take them for granted. You know, you only get one mama. You know, you only get one mama. And even though sometimes they might, you know, still treat you like you 5, that's okay, because you're going to always be their baby.
Yes. That is it.
Yeah, Mom understands you like no one else does, right? Like, you don't even have to say a lot. You're like, yeah, she gets me. That's so cool, right?
She gets it, It's some things that I can say to my mama now that I wouldn't have said to my mama a couple of years ago. And yeah, I'm 50. And I still be kind of funny about what I taught them. I'm like, my mama knows she had me, you know what I'm saying? But it's a sign of respect, you know?
That's right.
It's just certain things I won't say around my mom.
Of course.
You know, but she'll say it in front of me. I'm like, Mama, what you say? So, but you know, it's nothing like a mother's love. Happy Mother's Day to all my beautiful ladies. And just because, and you may not have, you know, birthed a child. You might be a mom to, you know, someone else's child, biological child. Because just because, you know, we didn't have the child naturally, we are mothers, you know, to different people. You know, I know I didn't have a child. I'm, you know, not saying I won't. That's another story for another time.
All right now.
Don't hate. Y'all, we'll talk about that next month. But anyway, you and I had the conversation of nurturing others. You know, having that motherly love for others. And I've been around other like clients' children, and they would all call me Miss D. You know, and out of respect and love, right? And so we are just naturally nurturers. So happy Mother's Day.
But it takes a major sacrifice for, I know people who raise other kids that, I come from a family where if mama and daddy were not in a place to parent, we gonna bring you into our household. My grandmother had a daycare for over 40 plus years, and she's essentially raised children raised children where maybe the mother or father were not in the place to raise their child. But that whole village mentality is so important because it takes a major sacrifice to take on a responsibility that you probably didn't even sign up for. And I can say, just even from my own family, I got little cousins who I'm like, really biologically they not, but we fed you more than one time. You are you are family. So come on in. And there is no step this or play this. It is what it is. If you sat and broke bread with us, you prayed with us, we played outside, you skipped up your knee with us, and we probably touched each other's blood. Okay? Right. But they say, blood brother, brother. That's right. We played together, we prayed together.
That's right.
We ate together.
That's right.
We spent the night.
That's right.
Spent the night.
And
We put the pallets on.
and we were little and we were taking that same bath.
Yep.
We are all family.
That's
Oh,
right.
you went way back, Sean.
You didn't know. You just you have a lot of there's a lot of people out here who are raising children that are not there.
That's right. That's right.
But they are raising them spiritually. There for that child mentally. And a lot of these boys, y'all know they can eat a lot.
Yes,
They get I think for me, I feel like they get a little extra because a lot of times these are folks who did not sign up for it.
That's right.
I call it other mothering. Other mothering.
My mother calls it, I may not have birthed you.
That's right.
Biologically, but I birthed you in my
heart. Yes.
And I love children. Like I do. I really do. I think I have a gift with kids because I've worked with children. I have taught step with little boys that play basketball. I taught them step class. You know, I've gone to schools and mentored young. You know, I really do. I love children, and so you know, another thing. You know, Happy Mother's Day because it is a different day and time now. So it's different as we, you know, raising children in this day and time. You know, so
And people need help.
Mm-hmm.
My nephew has lived with me and gone to school out of my house.
Absolutely.
And that's a big deal.
Yes,
it is a big.
And the grocery bill was crazy.
Yes.
For those 2 years.
Yes.
For all the mamas, all the mamas making it, not just the single mamas.
No.
Sometimes we focus, the mamas, the grandmamas, the aunts,
Yes.
the those folks who really, really nurture and even down to, I was a college professor for a very long time. I had students who had me as their emergency contact, who before they make a decision in life, they call. So even those teachers out there who stand in the gap, who stand in the gap for a lot of young people, and even there are so many people who may not wear the actual title, but they do the work, and that's what's important for Mother's Day, which is tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Mother's Day.
And I'm sorry, guys. That was my mama calling.
Oh, that's so nice.
Okay, mama, I'm on live. No, this is funny. It's a good thing my mama called, cause I made sure, y'all. I text my mama and said, "Mama, I'm on live this morning."
And so she called.
See, we're off schedule. She forgot. See,
I texted her.
Oh, you texted this morning.
Right before we got
Okay.
in to make sure.
Okay.
But she'll do like, Mama,
I forgot.
I does the same thing. Oh, I forgot.
She's like, "Oh shoot, I'm so sorry now. I remember." So I had to text my mama right quick and let her know.
Can I share something that's really moving me? So 10 years ago, my husband and I came together, and I brought a son, and he brought a daughter. And I always wanted 2 children. I just didn't think that's how it was going to happen. And my sweet girl tragically lost her mom when she was 3. And when we came together, I think she was 5 or 6. I was sitting with her on her bed, and she said to me, "You know, Mommy," she opted to call me Mommy. Right? She said, "Can I call you Mommy?" She was so excited when we got engaged. It was so cute, right? And then she really struggled, right? Because she had her mama, and then she had me, and said, "I don't know what to do with that, right? I don't want to be disloyal to my mom." And like at 5 years old, huh? Like, yeah, that really touched me. I'm like, "Sweetheart, there's room in your heart for both moms. You can love your Mama Tracy, and you can love me, and Mama Tracy is watching over us from heaven, right?" And it was just one of the most beautiful.
We're gonna need some tissue.
I know, right? I knew this was gonna be.
Yes.
That's sweet.
So I get to have a daughter that I never thought I was going to have. And let me tell you, it's a whole different ballgame from the son that I raised. And I feel very blessed.
That's
very
nice.
blessed.
That's heavy for a 5-year-old to even think like that.
Both kids are so old souls, both of them.
Very nice.
And it's good that you brought that up, because I welcome that. Like, I know sometimes people when they're are my age, 50, and you're single and you're looking to date or whatever the case may be. I don't mind like someone with kids, because I didn't, I don't have my own, so I would love to be able to teach, educate, and share life lessons with them. And if it's a little girl, teach her how to model and do
the D-strut.
Do the
D-strut.
and do her hair.
Here we go.
We're back. Okay, we're back. Okay. All right. Mine is a little behind on here.
I'm sure the weather probably has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're back.
We're back. I can see us.
Are we back on yours?
I see us. I see us.
Okay.
We're back.
All right. We good, everybody? Okay, now, anybody else want to say anything about Mom? We can always come back to this before
Happy
we leave.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Happy Mother's Day.
And to my mom and grandma, aunties, sisters.
Happy
And
Mother's
thank
Day,
you guys
Renee.
for watching. Also, go ahead now. We're gonna check all of our. We're having Wi-Fi, a little bit of Wi-Fi issues, probably because it's raining and everything.
Yes.
But just check and connect if we still have Wi-Fi issues.
But we've
and
been
just take the
doing
Wi-Fi.
good.
We good?
We're 30 minutes
Okay.
in. We're
Okay.
30 minutes in.
Okay,
Let's
we good?
check.
On there?
Yes, we're
Okay,
still
we
good on
everybody?
Facebook.
Okay, so when you guys come in, go ahead and like and share. Okay, throw hearts up. Come in and just type hello. Hey, I'm here. And then because we're going to get into the next segment. Hey. And so what we're going to do is, can you hear me good? Because I want them to hear this part. I don't need my Wi-Fi acting up on this part.
Oh.
Okay.
So we got a message.
My YouTube, I can always redo my YouTube because I think my YouTube is down. So, but it's good. We'll all reconnect on YouTube.
Hey, G. Lynn. Hey, Miss Lynn.
Hey,
Oh,
Miss Lynn.
Hi, Miss Lynn.
Hi, Miss Lynn.
Oh, there we are. We're back.
We're back.
Hello.
We're back. See, we just hanging there.
We're back.
We come
That's
back.
right.
Okay,
That's what
So
we
now
do.
it's back right on time. We're 32 minutes into the show. Y'all know I'm the producer. We're going to talk about time.
Yeah.
32 minutes, that means it's time to switch it up and go to our second topic, which is...
All right. Give me 1 second. I'm doing some.
All right, see, I hear us. We're doing
Give me
good.
a second. Give me a second. I'm checking on my YouTube family.
Yeah, I think they're good. Hey, y'all, over
But
there in
it's not on
YouTube
here,
family. Hey. Hey, let me look.
So I think we're paused. Give me a second,
It might be
guys.
a little delayed because
Might
your
be a slight
computer is
delay.
on. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was on the last time, but you know
Let's
what
see.
happened.
I'll
So-
check it. You tell them the second time.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Topic number 2.
Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Y'all know how this technology goes. Sit still.
Frozen.
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to keep this ball rolling because your audience is here on Facebook.
Yes.
We're
Okay,
gonna come
guys.
back on YouTube. We're going to keep it rolling.
That's right.
One computer, one
Well, that's it.
Don't stop no show.
Okay.
So keep it going. What's the topic number 2? Because we 34
Okay.
minutes
Okay.
in.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. That's why you had a lady in charge.
Yes.
Let's keep it moving.
We're going to keep
Okay.
delivering for the
Say,
people.
So-
moving.
Okay, so our main, our number 2 topic, our main topic is why I'll never diet again. And, you know, I thought about this, you know, because I was like, I might ruffle a few feathers on here, but that's okay. That's okay. It's life. Okay, so, and I'm just speaking on, I won't say it's just my experience, but I've also, this is something that, you know, I have seen also, so not just me. But we know, I want to separate the 2 words because that's why I put diet in quotations, because diet used in the quotations, as you see, is a verb. Okay? Your diet, what you eat and drink on a daily basis, that is a noun. Okay? So those are 2 different things. I wanted to go ahead and start that out right there. Okay, so you guys can know. I'm on a diet and this is my diet. Those are 2 different things.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why I put that in quotations, because that was just, you know, my topic and how I wanted to reach out to you guys. And I have to differentiate that because I gotta speak to people who might, you know, might not understand that. So I wanted to break it down. You know, it's always good to break it down so people can understand. All right. Throughout my life, and I told you guys with the reason why I wanted to bring this topic because of the impact that you know, my mom made in my life, and watching the diet. Okay, with me, I was active with track and field at a young age, and I did beauty pageants. And when I got to college, I incorporated all that weight training, all type of activities, and fashion modeling. So I did all that. So for me, the way I looked, the way I performed, was, you know, everything that was a part of my life.
Right.
So the one thing that I was missing was I didn't know proper nutrition because how I was raised, you know, I was raised, you know, in the country. And so we pretty much, you know, you eat what you had, right?
Right.
We didn't know really healthy eating. We would eat. Now we didn't overeat, you know, we were just taught to eat what was in front of us, you know, we was taught that. We did eat a lot of stuff in the garden and things like that nature. But there were a lot of things in my diet that were not healthy. So I had to learn. And then, so when I got in college, I wish I would have known this in high school when I ran track, because I think that would have I would have been a better runner if I'd had the knowledge of the health and the nutrition that I gained later in life.
Yes.
Right? Because I was a great runner, but I was a good runner, and I could have been great had I had that nutritional knowledge, right? I would have been able to go to state and run, because I was really good with long distance running. So I think about that because, good nutrition has a lot to do with performance too as well. So anyways, as I went on, and I would, especially during high school, I learned dieting at an early age. So when it was track season came up, the whole week before track season, I would skip lunch at school. I would probably have maybe a Snickers bar right before we ran because it was sugar. I had no idea what I was doing. But I knew that you weren't supposed to eat that much to lose weight. I knew that, right? But I didn't know it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
I was ignorant to the fact, and ignorance is not knowing, correct? And so when I when the track season would start, when we had our first practice, most of us was on the side after we done ran a couple miles, throwing up because we were not conditioned.
Wow.
And that was just to get us conditioned. And it was to say, you can't get happy eating the French fries and carrying on, and we're going to be out here running. And we want to be great, because everything I did, I wanted to be in the top. Right, and after a race, you don't want to lose a race. You want to win, right? Or if you want to be in the top, you want to be in the newspaper. So that's how I was,
Newspaper.
So
they still make them.
I don't know if they still make them. They did back in the day.
I don't know if they still, but I know back in the day,
Every
day was important.
You did wait for that newspaper.
You wait for that newspaper, and if you in the newspaper and they got your time up there and they placed you in the place, you was great.
You were on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't make the headline.
Everywhere. That's right.
So moving on to college, college, I was like, I gotta figure this thing out, because now I'm modeling, now I'm doing all these more extra curriculars in college. I started swimming, I started doing all that stuff. So in college, then I took the diet into another level, because now I learned a little bit more, but I still didn't know what I was doing. Okay. So I remember going to the smoothie place, and I would get this thing called Lean Machine. And just because it was called Lean Machine, because I thought it would make me lean.
Make you a lean machine.
Right, exactly. And so I didn't know that. I didn't know. Now I learned later that it was the energy drink. It wasn't what I need. Well, I didn't need that at that time, but it made me feel good, and it tasted good after I worked out, right? And so, and then I had long days in college, but so I learned later that I should have been having protein, after that, but I didn't learn that till later.
Wow.
And I would probably eat, you guys, maybe once a day, maybe twice, because see, I was modeling. So when you model, we modeled like swimsuits, we modeled small. You got to look right, and I was the director of the organization, so I had to bring it. So, to me, and I worked out, I'm working out, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about running, weight training, all of that. And I don't even know how I did it and go off of one meal. And then then we had practice for modeling. So I was doing all of this on maybe one meal a day. I'm like,
wow.
How did I do that? You know what I'm saying?
How did
and
I
collapse? I know.
Wow.
And I look back at that, man. And so one day I was in the gym and I saw this lady. And now, keep in mind, I was in shape, but I wasn't seeing the muscle like I wanted to see. I was just toned, I had a nice little shape or whatever then. But the lady I saw, she had muscle, and she looked like the fitness girls that I had seen on ESPN. right?
Yeah.
And because I always looked at the fitness ladies on
Wow.
ESPN, like, oh, they look good. I love the routines and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I asked her, and I said, well, excuse me. I said, well, what do you eat? You know.
Wow.
And she kind of didn't want to tell me. Like,
Yeah.
she was a little reluctant to telling me. And she was just like, I just eat chicken, you know. It was kind of like she didn't want to tell me.
Huh.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking like, well, I eat chicken too.
Not looking like that.
What chicken do you eat?
You know? Right. Well, that chicken wasn't working for me like that. You know, because I was still kind of, look, you know, my arms were skinny, but I always had pretty good legs because I ran track and I started weight training back in high school. So I had to build a little muscle. You couldn't see it, but it was there. You couldn't see it.
Gotcha.
But you know what I'm saying. So I wanted to take it to the next level though, because I'm like, why I don't look like that yet? You know, I was trying to figure that out. So anyways, I went on, and then fast forward all the way to when I got to Atlanta, and I went to this gym, and I looked, and it was pictures of all these ladies competing, and you know, it was a gym owned by a bodybuilder. Long story short, I said, oh, that's how I want to look, like that. That's what I want. I want to see my muscle, you know. And he said, well, you got to eat like this. You got to eat oatmeal. You got to eat broccoli. You got to eat this. He was naming things that I never had
Wow.
in my life.
Wow.
Wow.
I had never eaten broccoli. Why? I was raised in the country. We had collard greens, green beans, June peas. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had the vegetables, chicken, tomatoes, peas that we had to get out. We had to, you know, we had to,
Corn.
you know what I'm saying? You were in the country, you know, you shell some peas.
Shell peas.
Okay.
So we had those type of vegetables because we did eat vegetables. We didn't have broccoli, asparagus, you know, kale.
Wow.
All those things, you know, we didn't have that. The greens we had, they had the fat back in them. Come on now. You know,
The flavor, of course.
the flavor. Right. So I had to redo everything. But all he had to say was, when I said, what do I need to do to look like that? So he said, you gotta eat this, and this. I said, oh, okay. I knew I had never had that, but I knew what I wanted.
Nice.
Yes, okay.
Very nice.
Okay. So, and let's go back. Now that I gave you that little scenario, so I started eating better and incorporated those foods. It took me a little while with the oatmeal, because see, I wasn't raised on oatmeal. We was raised on like grits. Come on.
Southern food.
Can I hear me? Okay. Grits, pancakes, cereal, Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies. Come on. Okay. So we was raised on all that stuff for like breakfast, right? So I had to learn how to do the oatmeal. I said, I don't know about this. So I had to learn how to do my oatmeal like you would do it. You know, I had to take small steps. But anyways, throughout the years and then throughout college, you know, when I would get ready for my show, my fashion shows and all that, bikini contests, all that stuff, then I would come back to the hot wings and all that stuff, right? And then I would kind of put some weight back on. And then I would go back, and then I would start another. It was time to get ready for another fashion show, and then I would start myself again. And then after the show, we come back. You know, you get back on your regular scheduled program, and then some weight came back, because then now you thick again. Okay, so we thick again. Okay. Okay, so
it goes like this, right?
Okay, so see and I'm like, now I wore these pants a couple months ago. Now I can't wear these pants. So I'm gonna have to get my thick girl pants, pull them back out, like, you know. And it was, after a while it just got miserable, because it was like, well, you know, I was, you know, my tummy was flat. Now it's not all that flat. I'm like, okay, it was just going up and down, up and down. I said, you know, and so now when the competition started, and I had to eat a certain way, you know, what we call, if you've ever competed, if you've not competed, you know, you've heard somebody that have competed, we have to eat strict, okay, for months at a time, depending on, you know, some people have to diet longer than others, of course, because competition is a whole nother level of diet, and let's just put that out there. So, you know, so I had to learn how to do that, but that taught me still how to eat healthy, because everything we ate was healthy. There was no added nothing, okay, it was bland. It was when you go out, you order sweet potato, no butter. Okay, that's why you didn't want to go out, because the people you got on the people's nerves. Okay, I mean, grilled chicken, don't put no butter, don't put no oil on there, don't put no seed, don't put nothing. They were like, why'd you come out? So
That's funny.
I say that to say, after the shows, you know, of course I would get all leaned up and cut up and everything for my shows. And then after the show, you know, you go out and you have your meal after anything that you've been wanting or whatever after the show. And then the next week, you're back 10 pounds.
That fast?
That quick. Because you had to manipulate water and all that stuff. When you start pulling that water back in, then your body start pulling that salt back in.
Okay.
So my body, that's how it responded. So a weekend, I'm like, well, I'm getting on the scale. I'm like, where that came from? So it was just like, you know, it was an up and down spiral, right? And I had to say, okay, Dee, well, you got to find a happy medium here, because it's too much work. It's too much work that goes into this to go back to where I did not want to be.
Right.
And so I was sick of it, you know, and I knew how to eat healthy at that time, because I was like, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to research. So back in 2001, 2002, of course, I had got certified. And so when I started competing in 2002, so probably after my maybe third or fourth show, I was like, okay, I got to get this right, because I'm a leader. You know, one, I'm a leader. Two, I know how I want to look and how I want to feel. Exactly. And I don't want to have to keep doing this cycle again. You know, so it took me a little bit of time, and says, you know what? Okay, this is how I'm going to eat. And this is how I want to feel. This is how I want to eat. And I'm a consistent person. And so I wanted to be consistent. And I know as a woman, our weight fluctuates anyways. Okay. So, but I had to get it together. So I was like, you know what? After 10 years of competing, I think after my 5th year, that's when I finally, like, you know, really got it under control. I still had some work to do, but it's difficult when you compete. Because all you do is think about eating, because that's a part of what you do.
That's a part of what you have to do.
You know, the eating is just as important as the training, correct?
Yeah.
And so I said, you know what?
Even when you're not competing.
Even when you're not competing.
That's right.
So even now, when I stopped competing back in 2012, I'm glad you said that, because my last show was 2012. The last time I competed was 2012. So after that, I was like, you know what? When I stopped, I didn't plan on not going back, but it was just, you know, a pause, right? And in a whole year of not competing, I noticed that my body, I probably missed a lot, but I got to make this short, because this is a long story. We're going to come back on it next month. But after a year, I noticed that my body reset itself.
Oh, wow.
Okay? That dieting destroyed my metabolism.
Oh,
It
wow.
would destroy my metabolism. That's what was going on. That every time I would get out the strictness, even though I didn't go overboard, any little thing, it was like, whoop, the weight went back up. And now when the weight went back up, it was hard to get it back down. And I was like, no, I didn't do all this hard work for this. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Wow.
And so I had to say, this is where I got to get this together, because this is what I want, okay? So, you know, after competing, and after that year, my weight leveled out, and I started looking like that I was getting ready for a show. Nice. And everybody was like, "Did you get ready for a show?" I was like, "No, girl. I was just, you know, keeping it together. You know, just I got a plan. You know,
very nice.
I'm enjoying my food. I'm eating clean food, healthy food, and I know if I do want something different, right? Yes. I'll plan that day to have that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I start planning my cheat meals, right?
Okay.
And because I said, no, I'm not going to be miserable. It was messing up my metabolism. So after that year, I thought about it. I was like, well, should I go back to the States since I look like I can compete? And I was like, no. Okay. I did it enough, and I could because now I learned how to come off the show diets and stuff like that. So I could, but I just enjoyed it. I was like, I've done it. I've motivated people. I've inspired people on the stage, and stuff like that. Now I can teach others, how to do it and how to do it properly, right? If you want to compete, this is how you do this diet and this is how you come off of it, right? And so, but before you do that, I need you to just develop a healthy lifestyle. Before you start that phase of I want to compete, develop that healthy lifestyle first, okay? Because if not, when you come off that diet, all that work you put in, it's gone down. It's gone just that quick, quick. We know as women, and men do it too, but women, I think most of our bodies are more sensitive to just regaining weight. We fluctuate with different stuff. Our body weight is different fluctuations. All the time.
And then it creeps. Right? It creeps. It's unbelievable.
Like a thief in the night.
My son, when he was 6 years old, said, Mama, you look so fleshy. That was a nice way of saying non-fat, right? Fleshy. And I looked in the mirror, I'm like, I do look fleshy. But I clearly got to change something, right? And I changed my nutrition.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I did first think about it as a diet. But then, right, like, I can work with this. I can work with the fruit. I can work with the oatmeal.
That's right.
And so now my fluctuation is not this wide anymore. It's this wide. It's still fluctuating, but it's not as wide anymore.
Right. So, we might go over a few minutes because I want to make sure I get everything. So I'm not going to rush through this part. But I do want to make sure I do this because when you diet per se, when you go on a diet, that going on a diet means you're taking something out of your diet, okay, to lose weight or whatever the case may be. And that it makes you miserable, okay? You're depressed. You're probably always thinking about food. You think about things that you want that you don't even normally eat. Right. And nobody wants to live like that. And then a lot of times, you're doing a diet and it's for a particular time period. What happens when you come off, right? And so that's why I wanted to hit on a few points, and then this will be continued, okay? So I was just like, there are different factors of why I'll never diet again, because I like consistency. That's one. And we know dieting is not consistent. You can't, anything that you can't sustain, don't start it.
In fact, you look it up in the dictionary and it says DeAndre Washington next to consistency.
Right.
That's how it works. That's right.
Next to the word is so true. It is so true. You see this? All right, because I am telling you, consistent. I like balance. And when I say balance, a balanced diet is a healthy diet that emphasizes fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and also limiting processed foods and sugary drinks. A balanced diet is the most sustainable and the most effective for long-term weight loss. Okay? Hear what I said. Long term, okay? Long term don't mean that for a little while that you're gonna do this, okay? And then just to, for your birthday, or your birthday coming up, or a trip you're about to go on, or a wedding, or event, or a party. No, we're talking about long term. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, if there are things that you're working on, there are some things you might need to take out for a little while, okay? So, but just understand that, because there are some things that you might need to cut back, on, or at certain times of day you might not need to eat certain things. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm not saying that, but yeah. So it's still about balance, correct? And know that your diet is what you consume on a daily basis, like your food, drinks, or whatever. So that's what that's what the word diet means. Okay. So, and we know that, I said the reason I'll never diet again, one, is harmful. Dieting is harmful because it can have a negative impact on your mental, right? Yeah. It could cause potential eating disorders.
Oh, wow.
right? You could develop an eating disorder because you're starting to cut things out for so long a period of time. All you think about is food, and so that's unhealthy. And unhealthy changes in your body composition. So you start to lose lean muscle mass, right? And it can affect your bone density. Okay, and so when you're restricting, when you're restricting yourself from certain foods, it also can lead you to feel depressed. All right, and we know what happens when you feel depressed. It increased stress. Yes. Is that a word?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. And so it can also, if you still have a menstrual, it can mess up that, right? Make menstrual changes, right? You might not see it this month. It might come the next month. It throws everything off, hormones and all that stuff. Correct. And so that's another reason why I say it's harmful. And all those things are why I won't ever. It throws me off. And I can't be off balance. It just don't, I like to be upbeat, and going. And it's just not a good feeling when I'm not balanced, okay? Rapid weight loss, because people want to lose it fast, all right? We know that, okay? Everything fast don't last. Rapid weight loss can negatively impact your overall health, okay? It can potentially lead to gallstones, okay? A lot of people don't know that. Constipation, you can't go, okay? And that's the worst thing, you can't go. Exhaustion, you're always tired. Who wants to be tired all the time? You get your energy from food, from live foods, all right? And also weight fluctuations. That's what I can't. I just can't, That's different now with your water weight, different things like that. You might be retaining a little water. That's normal, okay? But we're talking about you were 130 this month, and next month you 150. We're talking about fluctuations like that. That's crazy.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yes. You back down to 130. You were ripped up last month.
Right.
3-4 months from now, you back full. You looking like you ain't never did that before.
Yeah.
So no. I don't want somebody looking at me like, ooh, you a trainer? Or you you used to compete? People will say things.
They will shade you.
Yes. You know what
will.
I'm saying? And I know we don't really always care about what somebody thinks, but of course we want to just care about what we think and what we think about ourselves, But yeah, I just feel like, and I know, let me just throw this out there. I know all trainers don't look like they've competed and all this, and I know they have not all competed. No, but I'm just talking about me. I'm just talking about how I want to be, because my clients invite me places, and I might can go to everything, but when I go to the events that my clients invite me to, they like to say, "Oh, this is my trainer, this is my trainer."
That's right.
And so you don't want to walk in there, they're like,
"That's right."
Your trainer?
That's where she trained.
Yes.
Right. But I don't do it just that, of course. I do it because that's how
Where's she?
you know what I'm saying? That's how I am. I'm sorry. That's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? I have standards.
That's like going to a beautician with a bad hairdo. I will not do it. Your hair is bad.
As I do, that's not
I'm telling you. Also, there's so many just negative impacts of it, and I always say, people have blood pressure issues. And let's get into. Did I leave something? I don't want to leave nothing out. Okay, let's get into nutrition deficiencies, because when you cut certain foods out of your diet, like carbs,
Did y'all hear that?
Yes. You have to have carbs. You have to have carbs. in moderation.
Yeah, you go to the doctor, get your physical, and the doctor said, well, you got to take this and take that because you're low in it,
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think that's important. Now, I would say I won't diet again unless I'm on a restrictive diet, unless it's something a doc found and I need to take out my diet. Now, you go by, get your fit. That's why it's good to get your physicals and anything like that. And you ever start to, start a workout program or anything like that, go ahead and, make sure you consult with your doctor. See the things that you might need,
right?
But you might not need. I'm just talking from my experience, of all of this. And I mentioned the metabolism. It ruins it. It'll slow it down, And a lot of people say, "Well, I'm older now. My metabolism not where it used to be." Well, you got to see, because that's not always true. That's not always true. That's not always true because I'm 50 and I know I'm in probably one of the best shapes I've been in my life. And I'm about to be 51 soon, about 4 months. Countdown. It's the final countdown. Okay. All right, so.
Okay. We lost it for a
minute. Bring us back. But, so I'm in awesome shape. There are, and I would say this. People say, Dee, what you see? There are no secrets.
Okay.
There are no secrets. So when somebody say, well, the secret to how I'm in shape at this age, there are no secrets. Nope. I got to put this, there are no secrets. No. There are no secrets. There's live food. It's called live foods, okay? And it's foods that you want to have majority of your diet, live foods. Foods that means that foods that man really didn't have a lot of his hands in.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So let's just talk about that. That foods that your body recognize when it get ready to digest it and know how to break it down.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm getting to preach. Okay, so I said I want to preach. Okay, so I hit the metabolism, right? Yes. So extreme diet, and we know that extreme diets can cause the body's metabolism to slow down, and it makes it harder to lose weight, okay? And what? Gain it back.
Super quickly.
All right, all right. And so there are also long-term risk to dieting, okay? Some diets, like high-protein diets, can have long-term risk, especially for those with kidney disease, potentially worsening that kidney function. So let's talk about this, okay, for just a quick second. And we're going to say to be continued because next month I got something special for y'all. But let me tell you something. Is it a time? It's a time for it, okay? Mm-hmm. So we know we don't want to eat a high-carb meal at night. We understand that because we get ready to lay it down. Right. But when you taking out something out of your diet that's as important as carbohydrates, for what? Like I'm just trying to figure it out. It's all about. That's why we have to educate ourselves. Okay. Right. So everybody, you're gonna do your thing. You do your thing. But I know, and I'm speaking from years of experience. This is coming from my heart. Like, please, let's balance it out. Balance. Life comes with balance, right? Let's balance this thing out. Let's just educate ourselves. Why am I taking this out of my diet? You know what I'm saying? So let's educate ourselves. Let's take in the good foods, right? Mm-hmm. We know that there are certain times for certain types of foods, throughout our day. Right. So to just totally restrict something for a long period of time is just not good, right? And we know that carbohydrates are the number one source of fuel for energy. A lot of people say, on Fridays I normally do like my energy reels, they say, Dee, I want that energy. I'm sending this energy to you right now too. It's so important for me to eat properly, because like I said, I want to go back to, I want to feel great. I want to have my energy level up, of course, by putting the proper foods in my body. Absolutely. And like I said, there's always balance. So there's going to be times to where I want something, different. And so I plan that. Mm-hmm. And I say, I'm going to give you this. If you do, you're on a healthy eating lifestyle, plan the days or the meal that you want to have that's a quote unquote cheat meal, okay? Mm-hmm. Something different like pizza or whatever you might like to eat. Plan that. And that way, when you eat it, you don't feel bad. Right. You don't beat yourself up after you eat it, because I've been there. I felt bad after I splurged on something and it was depressing. and now I'm looking at myself and I'm depressed, you know,
Right.
because I ate something bad. And you don't want to do that. That's that mental setback. That's that mental health, right? And so it gets us mentally. Now we feel bad. We don't look good. You know, we look at ourselves and don't feel like we look good. I'm sorry. So correct that. You know, we look at ourselves and don't feel good.
Right.
Okay. And so those are the negative aspects of saying I'm going on a diet.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
And why I'll never do that to myself ever again, because when you know better, you do better.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
That's right.
Okay.
And you feel better.
Yeah.
Right?
You feel better.
Right? Every day.
I feel good when I eat something bad.
Absolutely.
I feel real good when I eat something bad. Because I know I've been so good to myself.
That's right.
That's right.
So it's
That's
a
right.
reward.
Yes,
That's right.
I agree with that.
That's right. It's a reward.
Yeah, yes,
right.
it is.
feels like a reward because, like, you know, when you were little kids and on the weekend, you know, you ate good during the weekend,
Right.
and on the
Weekend,
weekend, you
pizza.
get to take out
Yes.
French fries, something like that, right?
It was a
Ice
big
cream,
deal.
but you know what?
Right.
Now
Yeah.
I'm at the point when I eat bad, I don't eat as much of the bad.
Right.
Yes, and that's
Right.
that part. That's yeah.
Right.
I
Of
agree
course
with
you
that.
don't.
Let me eat a whole bunch. Now it's like,
Yeah.
but I will say some of the bad things don't taste good to me anymore.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Right.
true too.
But
Yes.
there's some things,
yes,
y'all.
yes,
There's some
that is
things
true.
I won't go back to eating.
Yes,
Of course.
It's a lot of
exactly.
foods that I will
agree.
never eat again.
Yes.
Like, you will never catch me at a
Yes.
fast food,
Mhm.
McDonald's, nothing like that. Because that
Yeah.
was back in the day. Like I said, when you know better, you do better.
Yes.
It's just certain foods that
Yeah.
I won't go back to. You know, like
Right.
you said, it just don't make you feel good.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, when you train, I would say when you train your palate to eat in a certain way, it'll get used
Of
to it.
course.
That's right.
Right.
That's
and,
right.
and you mentioned something that I want to hit on. Glad you mentioned it. Portion control. So
Yes.
I'll just give you a few tips. You know, I would say just start cooking at home more, because you're now in control of what you put in your
Yes,
food,
right.
right? And then, you
That's
know,
right.
say the going out for like a special, you know, occasion or once a week or on the weekend when you're out, you know, chilling or whatever, having a good time. Also, you know, read the food labels. Read your labels.
Yes.
And next month we're gonna. This is gonna be a part of the live next month. We'll get into that because I know nutrition is important. You know,
Yes.
people love to eat. We all love to eat. So I really wanted to hit on this because I felt like it was gonna, you know, help somebody. Make sure you look at those nutrition labels. Make sure you know what's in the food that you're eating. If you can't pronounce it, no, most likely you're about to not.
That's
Break
a
it
good
down.
point.
You
Yes,
know what
it
I'm saying?
is.
So make gradual
Got
changes.
some syllables in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Make-
that's what I
make-
say. Too many polys and mollies.
Exactly. Make gradual changes. Don't do anything drastic. You know what I'm saying? And I know, like, a lot of people, there's different types of diets. There's your paleo diet, Mediterranean, you know, vegan, vegetarian. So those are fine because that's the way you eat, right? That is your diet. That is what your diet consists of. Now, don't go and do anything drastic like today you're eating meat, then tomorrow you're just a vegan. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take your time and go
Step
into
away.
it. Step away if that's what you want to do for you. You know what I'm saying? But do it as a healthy life. Do it as a part of a healthy lifestyle. Don't do it just for weight loss. Do it as a part because weight loss will come, right? So we want to be healthy first and foremost. And the last but definitely not least is to make sure you stay active. You know. Make sure you stay active. So that should definitely be a part of your lifestyle. And, you know, so being, you know, mentally sane, not having to think about, you know, food all day long. When I'm eating this, oh, I can't wait to eat this, and that, get out this diet. I'm so ready to get out. Oh, I'm on a diet. No, we got to change the way we think. Like, I would never do that again to myself, ever in life, because what I know better now from years ago, and I do better, and then now I get to share it. I get to share this with the world. I get to share me with the world. And I am comfortable in the skin that I'm in.
All right.
And that's why I want y'all to be. And I want everybody to be comfortable in the skin that you're in. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind, body, and soul. You know what I'm saying? By putting the proper nutrients in your body. And you know, yeah, this is a new day. It's a new age. You know, and we want to be educated. It's a lot of information out there, but get the right information. And I hope that I shared something with you today that you could take with you and it helps you. You know, it helps you. And if you have any questions, you know, from everything that we talked about, I know I condensed a lot in 1 hour. So, you know, just put them in the comments. Guys, also, before we go, I want you guys to go. I will put my YouTube link in the comment section. Please go to subscribe to my YouTube, because I'll start doing once a week. I will upload a poolside workout. I don't know if you guys saw the reel.
I did.
So we'll go back and we'll do that. It's just another way of me just, you know, helping those people that might not be able to have me personally, like these ladies here. So do that. Also, share, like the live. When you rewatch the live, just when you, because I know a lot of people are not on live right now, but when you come back, just hashtag replay. And also just start following. If you're not following me, you can follow this page. You can follow on Instagram. I'm also going to do Instagram live next time. So I haven't went over and talked to my YouTube family as well. So guys, thank you so much, all my followers, and your consistency every day and how you support my page. Like, thank you so much. Always give thanks no matter what. I thank these wonderful, beautiful ladies again, because I mean, you know, they just make me speechless. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else to say other than,
well, you pour into us.
That's
so we're
right.
able to pour
Coming
into
give a
back
lot.
to you. That's
Yes.
right.
You
That's
give a lot.
right.
I give
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
Give a
Just
lot, give a
sharing.
lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Give a
That's
lot,
right.
you get a lot.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
And you are watching.
Yes.
To the details.
Yes.
D.
And we
Washington.
got into the details.
Yes,
we
did. And see you guys next month is June the
The first
It's my
Saturday
birthday
in
month.
June.
It's
What-
my birthday
what
month.
day?
All right,
Can you
Miss
tell me?
Gemini.
What date is
It's my
that?
birthday.
Can you tell me what date so the people
Let's
can
see.
know?
So the first Saturday in June is June 7th.
June 7th.
The first Saturday.
I had a birthday since y'all last saw me. Yes.
Happy
Yes, I
birthday.
did. I had a birthday since it was the 28th of April.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
We only had a birthday.
Yes,
Happy
yes. And
birthday.
because it did, I just felt so good.
Bam! Awesome. You look good.
Yes,
Thank you.
You
indeed.
look good. Because I can
you.
never remember y'all's ages. That's what
Oh, yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. I got a large
Yes.
number of
But Dee's gonna strut up too. Y'all know
Yes.
she gonna
Yes.
strut and
Yes.
dance up to the phone.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank y'all for
Yes.
coming. We didn't have so much fun. We got to go, though, because they got stuff to do.
Yes.